Pete Prisco's Mock Draft 1.0, now available, cbssports.com. Make sure to go check it out. I'm going to run through the top 10, and then I'm going to give some guys outside the top 10 that I think, like you did with my position rankings, that are too high, too low, and who's just right. So the top 10, we've been harping on this all year, but I think I kind of like how Pete has it going right now. Cam Ward, number 1 to the Tennessee Titans. Abdul Carter, 2 to the Cleveland Browns. Shadur Sanders, 3 to the New York Giants. Will Campbell, 4 to the Patriots, the LSU offensive tackle. Travis Hunter goes to the Jaguars. I think Pete, as the resident Jaguars fan, is just being a little bit of a homer here, but I don't blame him. Ashton Jeanty, 6 to the Raiders. Mason Graham, 7 to the New York Jets. Jalen Walker, the Georgia edge, number 8 to the Carolina Panthers. Tyler Warren, the Penn State tight end, to the Saints. And then Kelvin Banks Jr., the Texas offensive tackle, goes to the Bears. I've mocked that one a bunch myself. But outside the top 10, I'm not going to run through all of them. Go check it out on cbssports.com. I'm going to say who's too high, who's too low, and who's just right. I'm going to start too high, Pete. Omarion Hampton, the UNC running back at number 20 in this running back class, specifically in this running back class, where there's so much talent. It would just be a waste of draft capital, in my opinion. And I'm not sure you disagree, though.
No. And by the way, I'm not disagreeing. It might be a waste of draft capital to take Jeanty where you're going to take him, too.
Yeah.
So, I look, as good a players as they are, I'm not going to argue that with you at all. I'm not. Because personally, I love this running back class. I think it's so deep and talented. You're going to find guys in the third round are going to be productive players. So I'm not arguing with you on that. But I think when you talk about the Joker and what Sean Payton wants, and I'm with you. I wouldn't do it, but this is trying to predict what they're going to do. So that's why I did that way. But I'm with you 100%. I think Jeanty and Hampton are special running backs. They're going to be really good, but they're running backs. And you know how I feel about running backs. I'm not taking them that high.
All right, the next one, who I think is too low. Tet McMillan falling all the way, the Arizona wide receiver. A lot of people have a top 10 player in this draft class, all the way to number 29, which would be obviously
he's probably going to go higher
for the Commanders.
He's going to go higher than that. He will go higher than that. It's just, when he ran the other day, it wasn't a great time. It wasn't awful, but if you go back and look at the history of guys who run 4, 5, 7 and in the last 20 years and seen how they've done, they haven't done very well. And so that's a concern of mine. Does he separate? But again, when you go back, and I went back and watched more of him, he catches the ball as well as anybody in this draft class. He attacks it. He's got, natural ability to go after the football. Yeah, well, as good, right with him. And he comes back to the football. His quarterback was awful last year, and that really hurt him. But you're right. He'll go higher than that. Again, though, the speed is, to me personally, the speed is a concern.
He should have taken a page out of Drake London's book and just been like, I'm not going to run. If you're going to run a 4-5 something at wide receiver and you're ready to get in first round hype, just say you're not going to run. Just don't run. Just let the imagination is always.
By the way, that might be
better.
what he ends up being is Drake London. You take that, I guess.
So we'll see where he does end up. But I think 29 is a little too low, but he could fall. He could fall after a middling 4.55 time from him. All right. And who's just right? I love Walter Nolan. Like I said, I'm pretty high on him. You have him going pick 13 to the Miami Dolphins. Fills a massive need for them. If that were to be the case, that one's just right, in my opinion.
Takes over for Christian Wilkins. I mean, they let him get out the door. There was a big void there. They need somebody next to Zach Seiler. I think it would make a lot of sense to get a guy like that in the middle of your defense. And again, toughness. You want tough. That's a team that's not tough. They're not a tough team. They need to get tougher, and he would do that. So I don't love him like you do, but I think for a mock draft scenario, I think it would make a lot of sense for the Miami Dolphins.
All right, you wanted to do your guys at the end of the last block. We didn't have time. All right, Pete, the floor is yours. Who are your guys in this defensive line class?
Okay, we've talked a lot about one of them. Josiah Stewart's one of them. I mean, look, these guys are all going to find their way onto my better than team. I love them. Again, we talked about his toughness. I think he's a better pass rusher than he gets credit for. You watch him on this tape. He gets up the field. He beats guys. I think he's going to be a really good long-term starter in the NFL. I know he's a little undersized, but it doesn't matter to me. I think he's going to be a big-time player. Jamari Caldwell, the 340-pound defensive lineman from Oregon. And you talk about Harmon. Look, Harmon's a really good player, but you watch Caldwell play. Oh my gosh, can he move for a big man? And I'm gonna give everybody a homework assignment. I want you to go watch Caldwell against Ohio State in the playoff loss. It was just a disgusting performance by Oregon. They got just whacked. There's a second to last play of the game. There's a run wide. And Caldwell goes down the line and chases the back down and makes the play. Second to last play of the game. They're getting beat by what, 40? He plays hard. He plays tough. He plays physical. He's going to be a long-time player starter in the NFL. I love his tape. And then the other one.
He reminds me a little. Can I say it's a little? He reminds me a little of B.J. Raji, Jamari Caldwell. Now, I don't think he's the upfield athlete that Raji was off the line of scrimmage, but has that lateral agility for a, chubby guy.
I'll give you another one. Jerry Ball.
Oh, you're talking before my time now.
Yeah, Jerry Ball. That's another one. Okay, and then the third guy, also on that Oregon line, and it's Jordan Burch. And he was people forget, he was the number one recruit in the country when he came out. And you talk about a guy who looks the part. He plays hard and tough too. He's a physical player. And when he's given the opportunity, he played a lot of reduced sets at Oregon. When he was given the opportunity to go outside and work on the tackle in one-on-one scenarios, he won. And I think he's going to be a big-time pro. And by the way, it wouldn't shock me, Mike, to see him go in the first round.
Ooh. Now there's a call. Jordan Burch in the first round. You heard it here first.
Late first.
You must have been watching Oregon kit tape, just like fainting left and right. I think 3 of your favorite defensive linemen. You love Derek Harmon. You love Jamari Caldwell, and you love Jordan Burch. Do you love DJ Uiagalelei's brother too, Mateo? Were you a big Mateo Uiagalelei fan?
I mean, and the corner's not bad at Oregon either. He's a pretty good little player too. Look, when you look at the right tackle and the left tackle are both going to play. The running back, I mean, they had a talented team. They were good.
It's good
but I like to see a guy who's still playing late in the game for Caldwell. Mean, you're that big and you're playing hard late in the game. That's a great sign.
Caldwell is definitely one of those. We said there's a lot of talent at day 2. He's one of those where it's like that guy can start day 1, and I think he can be maybe not a Pro Bowl All-Pro, but definitely a productive player for you in your defensive line rotation. Burch is one of the wild cards in this draft class. I don't know what to do with him because I'm right there with you that his tape on a down-to-down basis isn't like anything special. But when you just watch him off the edge, 2-point stance, go bull rush, it's like, oof, that guy has a get off and he has the body type that's like perfect for it. He's all ass and thighs. He's got long arms and he's got this explosive get off. And he plays physical to where you just ask him to be that guy, because at the NFL level, you can get by. There's a lot of guys who are getting by on just like a long arm and a couple counters off of it.
Well, Russo, does he remind you of Greg Russo a little bit?
He's got a little more heft in the pants than Russo.
Yeah, a little bigger,
cut, right?
A little bigger, a little thicker. That's why they reduced him inside. But when he played inside, he held up too. I mean, he wasn't like he was getting blown off the ball against good teams too. Against Ohio State, he was good. He didn't play him in the first game. He sat that one out, but he's a good player. They'll be on my better than list by all of those guys. Just to give you a little tease, coming out in a couple weeks. And Caldwell's in the running to be the captain, by the way. That's how much I love his game. I really do. I think somebody's going to get a long-term starter there.
Yeah, some of my guys outside of the top 10 that we mentioned there, I love David Walker from Central Arkansas. I have him as a top 50 player. I think he's like 130 on the consensus board. I love Jared Ivey from Ole Miss, another guy, top 50 player, not in the top 100 on the consensus board. I love Braden Swinson from LSU, top 50 player. I think people are starting to come around on him. And I love Q Robinson from Alabama, a guy who probably just a pass rush only guy at the next level, but I think should be firmly in the day 2 mix.
Two try hard guys real quick. Batty, who from BYU, plays hard and tough, older. And then, what's it, Ashton Gelati. Another one from
Oh
Louisville.
yeah, Ashley Lottie from Louisville.